2021, and we're here with live sewing chat. I'm still working on my Charlotte Sometimes quilt that I kind of put to the back burner, but I'm trying to work on sashing rows tonight and maybe putting the inside of the quilt top together. It just gets a plain border on the outside according to the pattern. So I was supposed to also add applique to this, but a lot of people said just dish the applique. This is actually somebody else's project that was pre-cut for me, so I'm just finishing a project. So let me pull you all up on my phone. We'll wait for more people to get into the room, and we shall go forward. Uh-oh. Trying to put a note up about Facebook, get that out the way. I forget when I'm typing in chat that you gotta, when you put a period, it doesn't make a capital letter the next time, does it? All right, so we're just waiting for a couple more people to come in, and we'll get started on our project. I'll also read the people who are here in the chat. I did not adjust my mic from last week, so hopefully the mic is okay tonight. At 8:48, we had Vivian Calvey saying hi T and everyone. At 8:50, Quilt Gal says hi T and everyone from hot and humid Maryland. Just came home from my birthday dinner with my son, 2 granddaughters. Nothing under my needle, house cleaning and decluttering. Yes. So happy birthday to you. Hope you had a great time. Deborah Quilts is here saying hello T and all quilters. Raining here. Katrina is here saying hello Miss T and quilting friends. And Deborah is making homemade caramel popcorn. Oh my goodness. Jackie K says, hello T and quilting friends. Long day of sewing on a rainy day. I'm half done with my son's king size snail trail quilt. It's driving me batty. Good thing I love them. Yes, I think that's the only thing that I don't like about like large quilts. When you pick one block, it's like you got to make the same block over and over again. So it can be a little tedious for me. Betsy Lighton says, hello, Miss T and T Quilters. Hi, Betsy. Susan T says, hello, T and all of you wonderful T Quilters. No yummy caramel popcorn here. Right. Margaret Dearden says, hey, T and quilting friends. Sean Hickman says, hello, Miss T and fellow quilters. I hope everyone is having a nice weekend so far. Kevin the Quilter is here. Hey, Kevin. He says, woohoo, our Saturday evening with our Queen of Scraps. Miss you, Miss T. Hope to see you soon. Evening to all T Quilters, yes. Stephanie from Memoirs of a Longworm Quilter says, hey, T and everyone. Beverly Aiken says, hello, T and quilting friends. Tom Eckery says, hey, T and quilters and T Quilters. Hit the subscribe and thumb up for T. Thank you so much for that, Tom. Judy Plaster says, how's everyone tonight? I hope you're having a good day. Claudette Bettis is here saying hello, T and everyone. Janice Miller says, hello, T and T Quilters. Great day of quilting. And Kevin saying the microphone's good. Thank you. Judy is here. She says, hello, T and T Quilters. The Molly J says, hello, Miss T and everyone. I hope all is well from Maryland. Sharon Lewis says hi, T and Quilters. Happy Saturday. Katrina is asking me, how do you fix a wave in the middle of a quilt? If you have a wave in the middle of your quilt, that means that something wasn't to size. And normally when that happens, it's when people are adding borders. And so I need more information. So let me know if it's when you're adding borders or otherwise. Darlene Crosby says, hello, Tea and Quilting friends. Suzette Washington says, hey, y'all, good to be here. Kim Burris is here. Hi, Kim. She says, hello, Tea and Quilty family. Melissa LePage says, you rescued me, T. I do not need that layer cake, no matter how hard So Yeah tries to sell it to me. Debbie Hewitt is here saying hi. Hi, Debbie. Ella Odom says, good evening, Miss T and Quilters. Darcy Savali says, hi, T and everyone. Remember to thumbs up. Thank you, Darcy. Bonita Nan says, hello, Miss T and everyone. Attended G Designs Quilt Along in a class for a bucket hat. Then went to buy flowers. June Henson says, hi, T and everyone. Had nice rain here today. A lot of you all are saying hi to each other. I'm hoping I'm not missing anyone. Quilty Graham says, hi, T and Teaquilts. Sheila Willis is here, says, good evening, everyone. And T, hot in Tennessee. And Janice is also reminding people, don't forget to thumbs up. Thank you for that. And I think we're through the chats for right now. Tom's asking, what does my shirt say? It says I have a PhD in quilting. Projects half done. I think we all got that. Cheryl Bean says, good evening, T and everyone. Hope all is well. Janet Mackerel's here saying, hi, T and T Quilters. Katrina, it says that T, not borders. I finished the top and went to iron, even with starch. Can't remove the wave. Okay. Sometimes it could be because maybe the block was a little bit, the part that's got the excess fabric, it wasn't the same size as the other pieces. So one block is either too small or the other one is too big. And when I'm doing borders, because it's loose, I have never had to do this on the inside of my quilt. But when you use starch, I just spray with a heavy concentration of starch. And then I don't iron it. I just let it sit there and draw up. So if you're starching and then ironing, that's not going to do it. I tend to just let mine just naturally dry and it kind of shrinks in. That's what I do on my borders and it works very well. But I've never had to do it on the inside of a quilt. So I think just one of the blocks probably wasn't the same size as the others, and that's why it's happening. And you can also look at your seam line and make sure that your seam line is flat, because I guess it could be a wavy seam that's causing it to have a wave too. If you didn't sew a straight seam, sometimes we get distracted, or like me, you don't set your machine back to the regular setting and then you start sewing a little S stitch. So check your stitching as well. Deborah Holloway says, hey, T and T Quilts. We had a lot of rain here in Chicago. Wow. We've been having rain here most of the week. They said when they started the week, they didn't know when it was going to end, but we've had rain every day. That's okay, Quilty Graham. I just read what you said just in case. Susan says, laughing out loud, that's me, half done. Got that right. I got a lot of those. Wind Sprinter is here saying hello, T and T Quilters. And Betsy says, well, shoot, I just put row 2 where row 3 was supposed okay, where row 3 was supposed to go. Jack and I will be partying tonight doing your sew. That happens sometimes. I try to be careful when I'm up here sewing. I try to triple check stuff to make sure I'm not sewing it wrong. Sandra Agger is here. She says, good evening, everybody. Happy to be here. I did hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Sandra. So, and I think that's it for now. So again, we're working on this quilt back here that won't seem to get out of my to-dos. So I'm just trying to get it done, finish this off. Um, Bonita saying I have PTS, projects not started. Love your shirt. I have some PhD too. Right. We're all college professors at this point, right? If that's all it takes. So yeah. So I also am going to be like chain piecing on quilt that's on my wall. I had a piece over there. Where did it go? It must have fallen and I didn't know it had fallen. So I'm going to press these half square triangles. I don't even have the press on. I got to cut that on, I guess, huh? I today, well, yesterday I started. Well, this week I quilted the quilt from my customer, and that sucker is huge. It was like 105 inches by 110 inches. So it's super large, and I need to. She wants me to do the binding as well, and I don't do binding for customers where I sew it to the front and then sew it by hand. So I finished it, got it off the long arm, squared it up yesterday, and today I worked on the binding. So got that done. Both parts. I put it on in here. I forgot to put it on by machine. I'm so used to pulling off my customers' quilts without putting binding on it that I forgot that she wanted me to add binding. But I started to hook it back up to the frame, and I think in the future I will, because it took me just as long in this little small area with that big quilt. So, but it turned out pretty good, the machine binding, so I'm happy with that. Didn't have any boo-boos, didn't have to take anything out, so that's pretty cool. Phyllis G is here. Hi, Phyllis. She says hi, T, and everyone. So I'm just temporarily just using because I'm pressing my half square triangles open. I think, yeah. I'm like, am I just doing this just to be doing it? But yeah. So I don't even know if I'm going to need these. So let's get this on. Oh, we got to get the power button first. And we got plenty of water. I put water in it earlier today. Hi, Diane 57. So I got my sashing. Last week I sewed the rows together like that, but at the top and bottom of this row is sashing. That's actually the first row. So what I need to do is finish off these sashing pieces. So I need a total of 5. So there's 2 on that. So I just need to make 3 more. Quilt Gal's asking, do you have a video for putting binding on while it's on your long arm? I know that I've recorded it like once or twice, so yes, I do, but I can't remember the name of it. So I'm sure I probably got binding on long arm in the title somewhere, but you have to search that one out on YouTube. So on the left side of these sashings, I got like 2 different little 9-patch blocks that go on this. So I am going to start with this. And you can tell that this fabric wasn't cut right. You can see it's cattywampus. It's not even a real square. You can see where this is going up. So that's been part of my problem with putting this quilt together. It's like I need to pin everything because they're not the right size. And I'm trying to see if it's the whole thing. Nope, it's just that one side that's short. It's just a little short. The strip that I cut it from wasn't the right size. So, but I'm making do anyway. And I don't know what I'm thinking I'm finna sew because I don't even have thread. I had to use blue thread today, and I think I still got it in my bobbin because I just want to sew it off the bobbin. But the binding on the quilt was blue, so I needed to, since I was sewing it by machine, I had to change my thread out today. And I hope this needle in here, I changed needles, oiled it today. Since we had to talk about needles, I decided this would be a great time to change your needle. So I changed it after I got through because the quilt that I was working on had a lot of batik fabrics on it. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't using that needle to piece. I could hear the needle popping. And we had talked about that in Tuesday's live chat. Also, I wasn't going to say anything, but I got my daughter's dog, and she over here starting to play with her toy. So if you hear growling and all of that, that's the dog. You want to give me your toy? You know you're not going to give me the toy, so I don't even know why you bringing it over here. She doesn't play fetch. She wants to play tug of war or something. Cause she won't let the toy go. And Diane says, good time to practice what you preach. Yeah. It's like, she's talking about the sewing machine needles. Yeah, because I think we all do that. We just forget and don't change them. But today I actually heard, by the time I got through, because I had sewn around that batik quilt twice. And by the time I was like doing the last, like top stitching in the ditch on the, about halfway through that part of putting that binding on there, I could hear that needle popping. So you just got to listen to your machines. They will tell you when they want a new needle. It did not like those batiks. All right, so now we can go ahead and put these other ones on the ends of all of these. Well, no, not all of them. I don't even have that many to put them on all of them. No, it should be on all of them, I think. I think. It's been a little while since it's been a week since I looked at the pattern, and I haven't even looked at it today. I'm just sewing. So I might be using my ripper. Jackie says, I also cleaned and oiled my machine and changed to a new needle. It had been a while and machine was running loud. Yes. I'm sure it's happy. Tiffany is here. I guess I missed hers. Hi, Tiffany. Welcome. I missed her coming in. She says, hi, T and friends. I was recording, so I'm a little late. No problem. Welcome, Tiffany. Tiffany's Quilting Life. We got Cynthia Washington says, are you adding cornerstones? That's exactly what I'm doing. And I think I want to put a pin in the in the one that should be to the left, just so I don't get confused later on. Especially since I'm sewing other stuff and not really paying attention. I know what it looks like. It's just a slight difference, but the pin will make it obvious. Let me go back down. I don't think I missed anybody else. Eric Oda came in. Hi, Eric. I'm trying to set up a new camera. That's what Eric's working on. That's awesome. My camera, I have been using it for 6 years and there's nothing wrong with it. And it's actually a very good camera. It cost me quite a bit of money. I've been thinking about like getting another camera, but I'm like, why? Just use what you got. All right, making sure I got these turned right now after I've sewn one. Yes, okay. This one has just a very subtle change between the two, the difference in the little 9 patches. So, yeah. And this one's really little. I'm gonna have to center this one. It's really little, like on one side, it's tiny. And the whole time I've been, making it work. I guess I got more work to do. We will definitely be using pens. All right. Oh, he's got a Canon M50. Okay, pretty cool. Darcy says, it was nice to be at my machine again. Took me about 2 weeks before I could sit at it. Back pain sucks. Yeah, I'm glad you're able to sew now. And Kim Burr says, Darcy, I understand completely. Prayers for you. Kelly A came in. She says, hi, everyone. Hello, Miss T. Hope everyone is doing well. Jennifer J also came in. She's saying hi, T, and everyone. Yeah, these little 3-inch 9 patches are not really 3 inches. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm missing 9 patches, if I sewed 9 patches into the big quilt. But it's telling me I'm out of 9 patches, but I got all these extra strips. So, mm-hmm. Weird. This is the last one. But I got 3 more strips. Well, 4 more strips. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Here we go again, right? I made what they said. So, I have to pull out the papers, right? Okay. And this ain't even the one that told me what to sew. This is just the one with the photo. It might be. It might be in this green container that's collecting everything. Let's see. So I can count these before I go further. You know how sometimes you have big quilts on your. See? Here they are. It's like I got extra pieces. Something's missing. All right, they go like that. Like I know it. The sashings, all the sashings should get a piece. I was about to panic. It's like I don't want to sew any more pieces. Patricia Carluccio came in. I'm trying to find her comment. She says, hi, everyone from Georgia. Hi, Patricia. And Diane says, laughing out loud, T, you should read the pattern. No, but you'll get a kick out of me ripping. Yeah. You'll get a kick out of that. Kim says, when all else fails, read the instructions. Right. I still didn't even get the instructions. T, you're a mess. I know. I know. It happens like that sometimes. It's like I'm just sewing cornerstones and sashing. Uh-oh. Seems like my machine did not catch my piece. I'm hoping this needle ain't weak. Okay, it's not the needle. I don't know what that was about. I think it's got purple thread knotted in here. I haven't even sewn on with purple thread, so I don't even know where that come from. I just want to get the little knot out the back, because it sure isn't going to sew over that. Let me look at this real good. Yep, it's purple. I don't know where that come from. I just cleaned it. I been realizing that, every time I'm touching something, I'm seeing different colored threads when I'm pressing over here. It's like I haven't even used that color. What are you talking about? So it must be coming off some of the fabrics. And I got a big knot. Let me try to use a seam ripper. See, Diane? Seam ripper. It's just a little knot at the beginning. I put it down and lost it. But as soon as I put it back in this machine, it'll pop up. I have to take my glasses off. I can see up close. When it's real tiny, I do better with no glasses. Without them. Trying to get just the thread so I don't put a hole in my project. This is real life, guys. Okay. Got a couple of them, but that's not enough. It's like, how many threads is in here? That knot is big too. I mean, if I can feel it with my hand, the machine's not gonna like that. Okay, let me see if I can pull it from the front now. I think it was trying to put a hole in my project. I have no idea where this purple thread come from. Oh, shut up. Let me go back. I missed a lot of comments, guys. Trying to figure out where. I think Tiffany, I'll just start with Tiffany, is welcoming everybody that's joining. Don't forget to give T a thumbs up. Thank you, Tiffany. Patricia says, T, you're a mess. I remember seeing that one roll up. Helena Marie Carter came in saying, hello, T and all Teaquilters. Debbie says, I cleaned one of my desk off. It was logging cabin blocks for them. It's amazing what happens when you clean something off. Yep. I don't have time for that, though, right now. Patricia says, it's good to see everybody. And Kelly is asking people what they're up to. Jackie says, one day I was looking all over for a piece. Came upstairs and hubby says, you got something stuck to your butt. Found a piece. Yep, I'm just glad that my blocks weren't attached to the quilt, because I had all those little pieces laying up there. But I got part of this knot out, but it's persistent. I didn't even sew that long when it started acting up, but it down in there. Well, it's moving a little bit. I don't want a hole. And I mean, this purple thread is wrapped all in this white thread. And I have purple nowhere in this project, and I just cleaned the machine, so I picked up something from somewhere when I was cleaning, right? Maybe it was on my cleaning brush. And it's just a little thread, but it's finally. That was like 30 minutes of the chat. All right. I'll free check that once I get my quilt put together. If I need to. It may not. It's no hole. I don't think it's a hole. Maybe when I press, the hole will disappear, from the stitching. But no hole. Hopefully. Hold on. It's time to sew on a scrap. You don't want to rip again. Let me make sure my needle's in the right position. Yeah. Okay. We don't want any accidents. That's one of the reasons I'm glad I wear glasses since I sew. At least I got some eye protection. Still working on her star quilt. That's Patricia. Diane says, when I make a pattern, I read it all the way through and make notes as to what fabric gets cut into what shapes. Yeah, I did the reading, I'm working on this with you all. So I read it like 2 or 3 times by now. And I'm like, I don't want to look at it anymore. Kelly and Eric are talking about cameras. Deborah says, I'm eating the caramel popcorn. Can't sew, sticky hand. Putting it away now. She's trying to make us hungry. That's what she's trying to do. All right. Put you over there in case I need you again. And this is the purple thread. Put that over there. It might have come out of this grunge. That's the only thing I can think of. See, Diane's talking about make that ripper go. I didn't even have to rip a seam. Just had a nest of thread. That was quick. When the Bernina stopped, they mean for you to stop. Don't go testing it out one more time. Bonita's, no, that's Eric says, oh, he's talking to Kelly too, but still talking about the cameras. Bonita says, Miss T, when you use a panel for a quilt, do you pre-wash it before sewing? Yes, I do. And that's because a lot of times the panels aren't even printed straight all the time on the... It's not printed straight, and so I just like to do that. And if I need to do any kind of tweaking, I can do it when it's wet. If I take it out the washer and it kind of looks suspect, then I go ahead and I kind of do like I do with my borders, where I use starch and put it where I want it to go, so I can block it. So, but yes, I do. Certain things I do pre-wash, and that is one of them. I still don't pre-wash the other fabrics that's going with it, though. But just panels are notorious for not being straight. If you were just cutting, if you did the rip thing, or if you were cutting, you would see that it's not straight. So yeah. Got that. At least I found my pieces and the numbers match up now. This dog is sitting behind my chair, snoring. Hi, Mary. See, Mary came in. Lena says, I had a rough week with the dog after her back surgery. She is back in the doggy hospital for the weekend. I'm so sorry to hear that. I was hoping she'd be fine, be better by now. This is the one that it pulled when it messed up, the one before. I guess my chain piece was too long. Maybe it didn't like it. The beeping sounds like your waffles are done. That is funny. I'm already in here sweating. Haven't made one press yet on this thing. It gets hot. I'm gonna have to see. Let me see if I can try this on the silk setting, because I'm on the wool setting and it is hot. It gets hot. We're gonna knock it down. People are saying they're sorry about hearing about Helena's dog. Thoughts and prayers are with you. All right, so I think these are the ones that are doubled, the 3 with the pins. So I kept them chained together temporarily. This quilt is really not as complicated as it looks in this video. It's just that the pieces are not lining up, and so it takes more work. And I'm reading comments and talking. I'll take part of the responsibility. And just making sure I have all my pins. Yep, same way. Cynthia Shade saying good evening from Chicago. Diane says she's working on the backing for the quilt she's working on for her husband. Kelly says, I bought a gorgeous panel at the KC Quilt Festival, dragonflies above a pond with lotus flowers. Not sure what I'm going to do with it, but couldn't pass it up. I got a lot of panels. I need to start quilting them. I'm at that point now. All right, so this is my end piece. They go in a particular spot, so I got to make sure I keep that, and then I can go ahead and add this other one on and be done with it. Do that one more time. Okay, next one with the pin, it gets 2. I'm behind in the comments. I'm just trying to get a few of these seams pressed here. I mean sewed and pressed. Here's another one of them little small ones. We just try to center it the best we can. And I might be having some S stitching, right? This is the last one. And I gotta get the other one off my chain piece. And I'll be done with sewing the sashings together. I don't know why this dog is behind my chair. Soon as I move, gonna try to tell the people that I'm trying to kill her. Now, she has not been over here behind my chair ever, and this is where she's decided to sit today. Move, Paigey. Come on. Come on. Come on, right here. Quit licking me. Stop it. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. Stay. It was a trick. You stay. She's ready to come back. All right, so we need to press these. I have a bunch of Christmas panels that I need to get done. I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do with a couple of them. You know, you can always just do piece borders on them, any piece borders, with some coordinating prints. Or if you don't want to piece them, plain borders are fine too. So let's see if I can press this, because soon as this this waffle maker over here tells me I need to press, it's going to be coming up soon. Kevin says, I'm needing some oomph to get through piecing all of these pieces that look exactly the same. Never knew how boring piecing the same fabrics over and over could be. Yep, because he's one of those people that you only see the fabric in there once or twice, or if it's only in one block or something, it'll be whatever number of pieces that particular fabric is used in the block. When he goes to the next block, he gets all new fabric. Did you get a new machine? I got a used machine. And I even I bought a machine today. And I only bought the machine for the parts. I have a Singer 503, and I might end up selling the 503 because this lady had the 501, and I needed the cams and all the ruffler and things like that. And she was only selling it for $100. So I wanted, if I was ordering the parts, because I have been looking at ordering the parts that go with this machine. The Singer 500 has cams, and if I wanted the cams, they were $15 a piece. So I decided that I would just buy the whole machine and figure out what to do with it. And I could also use it for parts because both machines are technically the same, except for one has onboard decorative stitches and you can use cams, and the other one is only sewed straight unless you use a cam. So they're very similar machines. So I've been trying to figure out if I should keep it for parts after I get it looked at, or should I wait until I get it looked at. Now on the silk setting on this press, I can't steam. So I lost my ability to steam. Because I guess on silk, you shouldn't be spraying out water, right? I got a pen in here, but it's a heat pen. It can take the heat, so we don't have to take that out. I'm so behind. Nora says, hi there, T and everybody. Hi, Nora. Welcome. Janice says she finished her twisted log cabin blocks. Need to lay out. Bet that's pretty. How many blocks did you make? Oh, so this is Nora's third quilt. That's pretty cool. Tricia says, you don't know boredom until you're in Georgia and no TV, no internet, just your phone and sewing machine. And Jackie says, I used a few panels that I got on sale into the back of a quilt. Looks great. I do that too. Like sometimes, or you know how you have those like apron things and they have the shape of the aprons in the pattern, and then you might can make teddy bears or children's books. I had a lot of that stuff, and one day I just took it and sewed it together and put it on the back of a quilt. It's interesting what some people like the back of the quilts better than they do the front when we start piecing stuff together. So here is my blocks. I think all of these rows are the same because they just have sashing, so I don't have to worry about that. I just need to know that I'm putting it on the bottom. And the right part on the bottom. Right. So this end has to go that way, but I want the sashing on top. And this is going to be tedious because, again, I got to pin all of this stuff because it's not the right size. I'm trying to keep squaring stuff up as I go, so I'm not going to have one big mess at the end. But this was a project from Diana, and I just wanted to do one of her projects, so I'm sticking with it. All right, we just got a pin. She had a lot of projects that were just, she had cut and had the instructions in. We sold a lot of that kind of stuff, and we just sold it by weight. Some of it had like major yardage, in them, so. But this was already pre-cut, so trying to space out the fullness in between the center as I'm stitching. Deborah says, hey T, I've been watching some videos on quilting as you go. What do you think about that type of quilting? I think it's great. I have done a few projects Quilt and Go. I have never done a video on it, but I do a lot of my embroidery designs that way. I do the quilt as I go because I'm working. One machine can be doing the embroidery, and then I can be on my sewing machine putting them together. So I have used it. I love the technique actually. You can also use it as instead of making it obvious, or people will know that it's been put together quilt as you go, but I go ahead and make like designs on the back too. So I'll use a different fabric for the back of the quilt and then pull out another fabric for the strips that are going to show on the back. Just go ahead and make it decorative at the same time. So, and if you don't want it to be obvious, then you can just use the same fabric. But I like, if I'm going to go through all the work, I want to see it. I think I've only done it on one bed quilt where I had a full quilt top. And what I did was I put the batting and backing in the center, and then I didn't quilt for 3 or 4 inches from those edges. And then I quilted what I could, and then I added on one side and then added to the other. So I've done it by block and I've done it by a full quilt top, but I didn't have the full backing. I actually like the silk pins, the orange ones, better than the blue. I should have this strip on the bottom now. I forgot about the fullness, so the next ones I'll make sure I put the sashing strip on the bottom. I was sewing sashing strip on the bottom last week because this is so full. But I'm going to make sure I just even out the fullness. And we'll go from there. All right. Make sure everything's lining up. We don't want any happy accidents. No, Patrice must have. They're talking about medical diagnosis. I'm just going to skip those for right now. Just sending you prayers. Janet says that she made 24 blocks. May need to make more. Plenty of strips left. Yeah. I made the 36 and I was like, oh my God, am I ever going to finish this? But again, I was like racing against a clock at retreat. I was teaching and I was trying to also get the project done at the same time. So it was a lot. A lot of people sending Patricia prayers. Eric talking about I got weird neighbors. Last night they were dancing the Macarena. Tonight it's country line dancing. Billy Ray Sears. Hey, every once in a while I'll get up and do the Macarena. It just pops in your head all of a sudden. It's like you got to do it so you can get rid of it. I like seeing little kids do the Macarena to see if they can remember all the hand movements. And Diane says, yep, they sound like fun people to me. Yep. Okay. Got a long thread. This is attached to a zipper. I mean a needle, hand sewing needle. It's coming into the quilt. I'm sewing everything in. Oh, that's the pen telling me that's the beginning of the row. All right. So that's one. Sashing down. We got 2 more to go. I don't even know what I did with the sashing. I'm wondering if I put it in my chair and then I sat on it. I gotta press this one anyway. We'll find out in a second. Nope. That's good and bad. It's over here. Did I press you? I'm thinking I did. It's not so hot on silk, but I can't use steam. So you gain one, lose another. I tried to ask you not to get behind my chair. You're back. And I don't understand. You haven't done this before. Can you come out of here, please? Come on. Come on. Come on out. I guess it's because I'm talking to you all. And I don't normally like just sit and talk in a room by myself, and she's probably thinking I'm talking to her or something. I don't know. It's weird that she's behind my chair. Sounds like people want to come join your neighbors. Yep, that's correct. I think I will sew with the sashing on the bottom though. I was trying to keep it on top just because it's small so I can keep an eye on it, but I really prefer to put the fullness at the bottom. You're talking to us. She thinks she is supposed to listen, right? She hasn't even eaten her dinner. She wants, I think my daughter must be feeding her more table food because, uh, like more than just carrots is what I'm talking about. Because the last couple of days, she hasn't wanted to eat her dry dog food. So I haven't been giving her snacks. She's been getting like her dentist stick, and that's it. She won't eat. I even tried eating in front of her. It worked earlier today, but for her dinner, it did not. She was like, I'm not doing that again." And Dorsey says she must love you too. Yeah, she's just too close. It's dangerous. I don't want to roll these wheels back on her. That's the only reason I'm putting her out. She normally will sit over here on my side. Like, she would give me like 3 or 4 feet, but not today. I don't know. I guess because I'm talking. And she thinks I'm talking to her, I guess. And that's why I won't even say her name, because she'll get up and come over here. um, um, or they popping off fireworks all the time, even when it's not the holidays. When it gets around to July, I have it like the month before and the month afterwards. They got plenty of money to spend on it. Fireworks going off and some illegal stuff blowing up. I'm having fireworks here. It's awful. That's Kim. Yep. Missouri love fireworks. And me, I prefer to keep my money and let somebody else spend theirs, and I can still look at the same fireworks. So they're not getting my money. Okay. I'm trying to get my strip. It was falling off from the vibration once I moved it. Okay. So this is why I don't like the strip on the bottom, because I got to go up under here with my hand to line it up. But a quilter's got to do what a quilter's got to do. You need to make it fit. Make sure everything's lined up. Same here in Chicago. That's all I hear. That's from Deborah. Tiffany says it's 108 out. Nobody outside, let alone playing with fireworks. I got to meet with a friend yesterday. She lived here forever and moved to Phoenix, and she's in town visiting, so that was really nice. And her daughters still live here, so I got to see them. She and I used to run the Girl Scout troop, so it was good going back over what some of the kids were up to. Pretty cool. And we talked about those infamous cookie sales. We sold a lot of cookies. We sold over $15,000 worth of cookies, and I was in charge of the cookies. That's a big job. Minnesota has to go over to Wisconsin to get good fireworks. My nephew does a show for us. I heard fireworks about an hour ago, but been raining out, so they can't keep them lit. Tiffany talking about that's a lot of cookies. Yes, and just think, I had to compile everybody's sheets to get to that, and then having all that money, collecting money from all these different parents, and I'd say about 95% of it was in cash because cookie sales, people pay in cash. Well, some people you probably wouldn't want to take their checks anyway. I'm trying to pull any loose string that I see before I stitch through because we don't want this machine acting up again. So, yep, that was a lot of cookies, and I had to pick them up. I had like other family members with me that day because you didn't know if you was gonna need one car or 10. And Kim says fireworks aren't supposed to be set off here till July 3rd, but no one is paying attention. We are not supposed to have fireworks in St. Louis City or county, and people ignore that every year. Been doing so for years. So our girls softball team had to sell candy. That was Diane. Nora says my daughter was in Girl Scouts cookies rule. She enjoyed every minute too. I sold cookies everywhere I went. I probably sold about 1,000 boxes myself. I sold them at work, and I, had a big company I worked for the state, and it was a big office. And I sure hope I've been sewing these rows on here right. Okay, put this one down next. And also, at bowling, I was in bowling league, so I had like 2 nights a week that I bowled. So I sold them there too. And family. They bought a lot too. I haven't had Girl Scout cookies in a long time now. And I'm not looking to get any either. Ontario, it's only legal to set the fireworks off on day of holiday. See, and we don't have, we have where you're not supposed to have them. You go to the shows because a lot of our counties or our areas have, municipalities rather, have fireworks display. So it's no excuse. Tiffany says she was on a bowling league and a pool league. Wow. I played pool, learned a little bit with pool, but I never took it serious. But I enjoyed it when I did it, though. That's pretty cool. And I didn't take dart serious either. They had a dart leagues also at the bowling alley. Let's see. Rain, where? Cookies, yes. Southern California, yeah. I don't even know any Girl Scouts now. Most of the children in the family have been boys, and my family never did really get into Cub Scouts, so. Making sure pin this in the right place. Norma Ozzy is here. She says, good evening, quilt friends from Atlanta. Hi, Norma. Make sure I get it in the middle. I used to love to bowl. Then I wound up in a tiny town with no bowling alley. I haven't bowled since 1978. I couldn't now anyway. Yeah, I don't. Bowling is hard on the body for real. And I was a natural at it, being left-handed. I bowled a 300 game. I bowled a couple of 279s. And I'm actually in the Bowling Hall of Fame for my 300 game. And they sent me, like, you know how you have your class rings from high school? They have bowling rings like that. And they sent me a 300 game ring, too. So it's pretty cool. I got another one, but I can't remember. I think it might have been like a 700 series or something. So I was really good at it. I just didn't like it. That's my husband's sport. I was doing it for him. I liked it a little bit, but then when I did open play, but when you get into a league, people are too serious. They take that stuff to heart. You miss and they act like the world ended. So Tiffany's reminding people to give a thumbs up. She's welcoming those that are joining in. Thank you, Tiffany. I get off the live chat and my husband go, how many people were on tonight? I'm like, I don't know. That's the one thing I never do. Is like, I never check. I just happen to look now. But I never check how many people were here. I just know that you all are talking. I know the main ones that are in here that are talking. And that's all I look at is the comments. And I'm like, I have no idea. I'm just here. I'm sewing and chatting. That's all I can do. Diane says, I tried bowling league. My balls always found the gutter somehow. Yep, very easy to do that. Dorsey says, I met my husband at a bowling alley and we went there between wedding and reception. It isn't easy bowling in a wedding dress, laughing out loud. Now that's funny. Now we did not do that. That didn't even cross my mind. That is funny though. Trying to make sure. I don't remember pulling that pin out, but apparently I did. Okay. Making sure I didn't run over a pin. All right. Shut up. Betsy's ready for breakfast. So the only pen I should have in here now is the blue pen at the beginning of the row. We'll leave this one. Sean Hickman says, well, it's past my bedtime, y'all. Nighty night. Good night, Sean. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. Leela Dickers came in, I guess. I must have had that scroll right past. She says, better late than never. Glad to be here, even if an hour late. It's all right. Hoping I get this top piece today. So we'll see. Or if the comments start coming in and I start reading, I'll do that instead. We're missing Mario. I read some of the comments from Tuesday, and then I just haven't been back over onto YouTube to read comments. So I need to do that at some point. I've been working on that quilt, trying to get it done. My client, that's a quilt that her daughter made that I just quilted, and her daughter passed. So now it's going to be used at her memorial service. So it's a lot going on in my life. It's still going on. And I'm just trying to keep swimming. So I feel really bad that she didn't get to see the finished quilt. And I'm glad that I'm one of those long armers that do let people pick their quilting designs. And she's from out of town. And she was just so thrilled that she could pick her own quilting design. So I'm glad she at least got to do that. I might have some S seams in here. We'll see in a minute. And if I do, I'm going to use this press to get rid of it. I just put it up on, I knocked it back up to the wool setting just in case so I could steam. Because I had some fullness to get in here. I guess I didn't realize it when I was making the blocks. I never stopped to measure the blocks. And I know the sashing. I did measure the sashing, and it was cut to the right size. But if every piece is 1/8 of an inch short and you've got a 15-inch block with 1.5-inch squares in it, and rectangles, 1.5 by 2.5, that's a lot of 8s missing, So I've been trying to work it in as I sew, but still, I thought by the time I got to this part, it would be easy to put together, but not so much. Not so much. So I couldn't imagine what a new quilter would have done with this. So I still got the one on my machine I haven't pressed yet, but I'm going to go ahead and pin these two together. I got these 3 rows that I just put sashing on that I just made. And then I've got that row up there. So it's only 12 blocks in this quilt. It's not a big quilt. And then the border was where a lot of the applique was. That was supposed to be on this quilt. I'll show the picture in a minute. It's not the best picture. It's not good quality when I'm trying to show it on the screen. But it's got a lot of applique all over it that I think I'm going to just ditch all of it. And see how much of these. I can't remember the last time I made a quilt. If I don't put those appliques on, that's only got like 5 or 6 fabrics in it, because I don't make those type of quilts. Let me show the picture for those that don't know what I'm sewing on. This is called Charlotte Sometimes, and it's a Sarah Filkey pattern. It's in modern. No, let me make sure. Material Obsession. I keep wanting to say modern. Material Obsession 2 book. That's the book it's in. And I just don't think I'm going to be doing all those appliques. I thought I was when I first started, but I don't know. So let's get this pressed. And I can use some steam. And we're going to wait the 10 seconds. Let it dry it up. Maybe shrink it a little bit. Nice and flat. It looks much better coming out of here than going in. Okay. So I guess I can show you. This is the after with the sashing. And this is before I press. I guess I could show you that. It's not bad, but it's just making it nice and flat. You can see kind of around the seam line where it might want to do a little waving because I had to ease in so much. The steam fast. It's saving my life. Okay, make sure that seam's under. Okay, I'm gonna put these two rows together, and I still need to put the sashing on the bottom just in case, though. Still gonna be the same. When I worked at the supermarket, we used to bowl frozen turkeys down the aisles after Thanksgiving. Of course you would. Oops, these pins. Yeah, I don't like pinning, but I need to know that I'm easing this in smoothly, so it's not too bad once I pressed it. But I got a lot of strings. This is off of that K fabric, the $13, $14 a yard fabric. Oh, Tiffany says she watched the number, so whenever it jumps, then that's when she does another welcome. Okay, because I don't pay it any attention. I got too many other things to be paying attention to. A lot of people say, I don't see how you can sew and talk and keep up with the chat and answer people questions. And they said I wouldn't be able to sew a thing. I grew up in a house, it's 8 siblings. And then we had the nerve to invite friends and other family members over. There's a lot of people in our house at all times. We had a 4-bedroom house. So I'm used to people. And doing things, multitasking. I'm used to the radio being on while the television is on and keeping up with both of them. I love multitasking. To my Jackie saying, laughing out loud, Eric, we did the same. Frozen turkeys and pop bottles. Sometimes we had a mess to clean. Eric says, waffles are done. And Diane says, it didn't cross my mind on my wedding night either to go to the bowling alley. Yep. Kelly says, my ADHD brain is driving me nuts after finishing a quilt. Anyone have trouble starting a new one because you have ideas for 3 to 4 different quilts in your mind and you can't choose one and just start on it? Yep. I'm constantly, that's the bad thing about social media is we can scroll and see all of this stuff, things people are sharing, and I'm saving photos, and it's like, I haven't even looked at my own project list or my own UFOs that's spilling all of this. It's ridiculous. But I'm still looking at projects. Yep. Understand. Okay, we got the sashing underneath, but at least it's not a little skinny piece now. It's attached to something. And Tiffany says, I have that, Kelly. I store them all at once. And that's kind of what happened to me, too. I'll do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, or I might cut for one, and then I'll put it up. Like when I did the exploding heart pattern, I thought, oh, I'll make another one. So I got it cut out, and it's just in a container. Haven't sold one piece, but I cut it out, you know. Went through all my scraps to cut it. Didn't sell one piece. Whoops. Come on. It's not that much. It's actually pretty good now that I blocked it with the, sewing it and then pressing it with that steam fast press. It's not that much off. Not like the first seam I sewed. I was in co-ed softball league. I'm left-handed too, and switch hit and pitch. People get crazy over stuff. I got out with a career-ending outfield softball in the mouth. Wow. I was relieved, actually. Wow. And I played softball. The rest of the people in my family were all right-handed. And my mom wouldn't buy just a glove for one kid. So I was throwing and catching with the same hand, and I played left field. I was fast. And I honestly didn't even know left-handed scissors existed until I started sewing. I was about 21 because I had been abused my whole life. It was like, oh, she'll just have to use what we use. Norma says, love your t-shirt. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's just one of my old shirts I just pulled out. I didn't feel like... I don't think I have to go anywhere or do anything with Teaquilts. And then after I say that, it's like, okay, you just quilted this quilt. You got to at least do a video segment. I was trying not to put on a shirt for just 2 hours and then don't go anywhere. And I just put this on because I was in my pajamas all day. So I'm going right back into them. I guess tomorrow I will be putting on some clothes. I got on I do have on pants. I put on some pants instead of pajama bottoms I normally have on sometimes. Not all the time. Maybe once in a while I have pajama bottoms. And Kim says, I don't have ADHD, but I go through that too, Kelly, talking about picking a new project. Kevin says, I don't make those types of quilts either, Miss T. Right. It's like now that I'm doing it, it's like I almost want to put something on here to add some color, but I don't know. I can always add some appliques at the long arm if I decide at the last second, right? Just stitch right over them. I did that one time I was making, my friend, her son was graduating from high school, and for college, he wanted a Mizzou Tigers quilt. And I had that whole quilt done, I almost finished quilting it. And then all of a sudden, something popped in my head and said, somebody gonna steal this quilt from him at that school. So what did I do? I went and cut applique letters and put his name across the top part, not at the bottom, across the top in like 4-inch letters or something like that. And then I quilted it. So it went all the way through the backing, because it was on my long arm frame. I just did it on a long arm at the last minute. But that quilt was just gorgeous. And after I got it done, I said, somebody is going to steal this quilt. So I slapped his name on it. Hi, Teresa Louise. She says, hello, how is everyone? It's going to be amazing, T. Thanks, Tiffany. Wow, that's so pretty. That's Teresa. When my daughter got hit by the picture, that's Diane. She talking to Nora. I'm going to skip that one. In my opinion, T, in the pattern photo, the appliques are a bit much. It is. It looks so busy. And she says it takes away from the overall quilt. Everyone has different preferences, but I think I'll be better off without them. Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out, I may end up, instead of putting the plain border, because at first I was thinking maybe I can put circles out there since the design itself is making circles. But I don't know if I want to do the circles either. And maybe I'll just see what fabric she's got left in these prints I got, the 5 or 4 fabrics that I'm using. 1, 2, let me see, how many have I used? One fabric looks so similar that it doesn't look any different. But I've got 1, 2, 3. It's actually 4 different fabrics in here, but the other one, it looks just like the orange. The 2 orange fabrics look alike. So it's just not I don't normally make quilts with just 5 fabrics. It's got 4 prints and then a background. It's weird, but it looks cute. I do like the chocolate brown though. Teresa says she's doing pretty good today, tired but okay. She's talking to Kim. Teresa Sample says fabric prices have gone nuts. Makes me dig through my stash looking at clothes that we haven't worn in years for possible piecing. And that's true. I've been seeing a lot of videos lately just recommended to me by YouTube about people recycling everything in clothing. Like this lady just made the checkerboard stuff out of t-shirts. She didn't even stabilize or anything. She was just sewing the stuff together and then just whacking it. And it just looked cattywampus like a old-fashioned style quilt, but it didn't look bad. It was weird. She cutting and using everything. Betsy want to know if we got any syrup handy. I said, let me get that handle before it beep again. I need to press now. T. Robert says, I have many projects I hope to get to, always buying fabric and patterns. Yes. Marcia, the Purple Poodle Creation says, hello ladies, I'm new, just found this live. Hi Marcia, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you dropping a comment. June says, I bought a lot of projects, now I need to decide what I want to start, been putting them in containers for later. That's why I pin, because stuff happens when you can't see it. I did put pins in it, but I wanted to make sure because my bottom piece was so much bigger. You know how it'll either go in or it'll come out. It won't lay flat, so I had to make sure everything was staying nice and flat. But yeah, this will flatten it out right here. This is the one that I hadn't pressed yet. The one that was on the machine when I started sewing those 2 rows. But it did go together a lot better since I blocked them a little bit. Last press, I want to make sure that's in there. All right. So this is the top. Just making sure everything's lining up before I commit. Sashing on the bottom. And just 2 more seams for the inside. 2 long rows after I pin. This is not something I can skip today. Diane says, you're making this quilt in memory of your friends. It's a labor of love. Yes. And she has, like, she pulled all the fabrics that she was going to use for those appliques. They're in there. I just don't know if she has extra of these prints in there, but I'll check that. But if I got some, maybe I'll just make a colorful border or something. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be okay to add all the color in the border only. I guess I have to see what that looks like. Cool Girl says, I told my 2 friends that they are to go into my sewing area when I die. They asked, okay. Then after 10 minutes of silence, one friend says, I got dibs on all her kits. We laughed so much, they were in tears. Yeah, my family gonna hate me when I die, I guess. I guess that's kind of how Diana's family, but they told her when she was alive, that's why she asked me and Leetta to do her estate sale. She had asked us to do that long time ago before she wasn't even sick. And she was saying because her family had already told her they don't know anything about quilting, they have no interest in quilting, and they didn't want to do it. And they didn't do it either. They didn't even come to St. Louis. She was buried somewhere else, so her family didn't even come. Say, we're not doing it. My friend got burned out of her second home since September this week, so I'm making her a quilt to help her feel better. That's nice. That's horrible. I was in a, all we had was smoke damage. I can't imagine what people who have actual fire damage have to go through. It was horrible. We didn't lose everything, but it was so many things that I couldn't wash. Like I had a suede sofa. I had to get rid of my furniture because the smoke smell, I just could not get it out of that. It was horrible. Clothes, we were washing in different solutions of stuff and having to wash them 2 and 3 times, and it was a mess. And fires are no fun. They are deadly. They have not been kind to my family at all. So, but I was staying in a 4-family flat when that happened, in the apartment on the opposite side underneath on the first. I was on the second floor. The apartment on the opposite side on the first floor caught on fire, and that smoke was everywhere. And that's when I had a water bed. I said, this fire department better not puncture my mattress trying to get water. Looked like Jackie left. I must have missed that. So good night to Jackie. Sorry I missed it. And Diane says, Nora, that's rough. I've been through a trailer fire, lost everything, but things can be replaced and people can. And that's exactly what I was. We had a serious family fire, and I'm not going to even go into that. It was horrible. It was the worst ever that's ever happened to me that I've been part of, aware of. It was horrible. So, yeah. Many years ago, but memories are still there. No joke. And then, they teach in school, and the kids think it's fun and games when they start teaching that kind of stuff. They're not paying attention, like having escape routes and all of that kind of stuff. Knowing where to go to make sure everybody's accounted for. It's a lot. I use old t-shirts to crochet rugs and baskets. That's cool. I've been wanting to do something like that, but I haven't. I got so much other stuff to do. I had even kept a few backs, and now when I do shirts, I just go ahead and donate them to my friends. Like these ones I just did, all of the extra stuff will be going to her for the inside of dog beds. I had one friend, she would take the necklines that I didn't use on t-shirts when I was making the quilts, and she would remake them for the dial clothes, so she didn't have to buy that webbing, that knitted stuff. She would use those for the armholes and necklines and bottoms of her dial clothes. I thought that was real creative too. It's a lot of good people that reuse fabrics. Okay, so trying to open this up so I have the part I want to press to come up right. I don't know how far I'm behind in comments. I ordered from Hancock's on 6/7. 2-day priority, just got it Thursday. Now that's weird. But it was like you all were saying, I ordered on Monday, I got my order on Tuesday. And I'm like, okay, I haven't heard anything about my order. It took them a week before they even contacted me to say, we don't have all the yardage. And it was like I ordered 3 yards and they probably had about 2.5 yards. It's like, just send me the fabric. You holding up my order for something stupid like that. I guess somebody must have pulled my order and then they got sick or something and didn't come to work for a few days. That's all I could think because it made no sense to me. My first order came in a matter of days, 2 to 3 days max. And I think mine's come by UPS. It didn't come by United States Postal Service. I like these colors, but they sure don't, the pattern, this stuff just don't show up very well because it's all these graphic prints, but it looks really pretty in person. I got a better photo today, and I put it on as my thumbnail, but it didn't even show up. I'm like, what's up with that? The thumbnail didn't even show up. It's just a red square up there. I said, okay, but it showed on my phone. And then it disappeared. So I got to change that once we finish. Okay, this is one. Let me press this before my timer starts beeping. You have to make sure you're not going to burn yourself too, because it looked like it's up pretty high, but when you start moving your hands and arms underneath, you got to be careful. You going back that way, and you go this way. I don't want to press any unnecessary pleats. All right, so that's one, just so my machine wouldn't cut off on me. Now we do this one. Time is it? It's 10:41. I may not sew the last seam. Let's see. Betsy says, well, I have one sashing and one more row to put on this Wanda top by GE Designs. Finally gonna get this one done. When was her sew along? When was her sew along for Wanda? That's when I started this one, laughing out loud. She's asking us. I don't follow them. I do have a few of their patterns. I don't remember if I've done any. Maybe I've done one. I can't remember right now. I thought I'd done one of their patterns, but since I'm pressing with a steam, I'm just doing my long rows to get my seam to the side I want it to, just so I'm not struggling with that when I get over to the press. So I got a white string in here, just strings everywhere. And the back of the fabric is light in color, like it was done to white dye. I mean, it was dyed on white, not done to white dye. My dog gone. Well, yeah. I guess she went to my husband. She might have said, I'm out of here, I'm trying to sleep, and she just talking. And she's funny when she leaves. It's like she comes in like a bundle of joy, and then when she try to leave you, she's slinking out, like she's trying to sneak out, like a kid trying to sneak out for to go to a party or something. So yeah, I'm glad to see this in less pieces, that's for sure. And I am so far behind in the comments. It's like y'all all started talking at one time. Anybody that's leaving, saying good night to you. Thank you so much for coming in, just in case, because I missed Jackie. Appreciate you all hanging in here with me because I haven't sold on this since last Saturday, so you all make me work on it. And I did sew other stuff, but I did not sew on this. So yeah, I've read that page. I got the scroll. Maybe I'll just do half the quilt. And I can do the last seam by myself. I'll just read some comments before we get off. Just show you what I got. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off so I'm not burning up. Go ahead and fold this so that these pins are on the outside so I can see them. Right there. This is the piece I pressed. That's the top part that I already had a row attached to because it only has one blue pin. So basically, I know you can't see it in the sewing machine, but this is what I got. Two like this. So it's just 4 rows of blocks. So I'll do that later. Let's chat. Janet says, started a string quilt today using those scraps and cleaning those bobbins. Win-win, yes. I was thinking of getting some 108 wide back from Hancock's. It is nice and soft and sturdy, or not that good. They have very good backings. They have name brand backings. All their fabric is name brand, I think. Tiffany's back. Been back since 10:30. It's 10:35. We get matchsticks fires here on the West Coast. The house, barn, and animals were all burnt to cinders both times. Oh my gosh! And I was on some farm thing, and I realized that they're doing their silage. They're getting hay and food, cutting grass for their animals for the winter feed. And they were saying that, it has to have a certain percent of dryness because otherwise it would catch fire if it doesn't. So I was like, oh my gosh, can you imagine your whole barn burning down? Deborah said good night. I hopefully got her. Probably did not. Yeah. Tiffany says, got booted from that chat for an Amber Alert on my phone. Didn't know those kicked me off. What am I doing when the alert comes in? And June says hers did that too. I've never had that happen to me, but that's so weird. Retired rural carrier here. Not always the fault of the ones making the deliveries when they are late. No, I didn't say it was the deliveries. It was the I think Hancock's was my issue for not getting my stuff. I think it was Hancock's. They didn't, because I placed an order on a Monday. They called me on a Saturday to tell me that they were short one of my items and what did I want them to do about it. And it was like they had 2.5 or 2 3/4 instead of 3 yards, something like that. I just think the person that pulled my order must have gotten sick or something. Quick Gal says her order went to DC, Baltimore, Towson twice, then back to Baltimore, then to my town. I go to PA to mail letters, so they will go to Philly, so they arrive on time. I get stuff by mail and by UPS, and I think it's up to the store because the same happened to me also. That's Darcy. Um, The last couple of years has taken a toll on United States Postal Service. Many of the offices are short-handed. Postmaster begged me to come back after I retired. And that's also true. They got some issues with the union where they couldn't keep the Christmas help. And ever since Christmas, they've been short this year because people were at home getting the extra stimulus money from an unemployment extra payback, and they don't even want to go to work. So Dorsey's getting people the thumbs up, says she's only C66. Come on, don't forget to give T1 with her time with us all. Thank you, Dorsey. And Tiffany says, I love it, T. Thank you. Quote Gal says, looks great. Marcia says that is gorgeous. Thank you all so much. Very nice, T. And June says, your quilt looks great. Yeah. So I just got to sew that one other row. So hopefully I'll do that before we come back. And then I need to figure out what I'm going to do about borders. I think since I'm not going to put the appliques in that border, I'm not going to make it. It's like 6 or 8 inches. This is a pretty wide. This is not even the sheet for the instructions. I never did get that. But maybe they got some cutting on here. Let's see. Nope. I was trying to see if this piece had what width the border was. But because of those appliques are huge, so I'm thinking it was like cut 8-inch borders or something like that. So I'll look in there later. But I won't be putting just the 8-inch brown border because I don't have all the appliques on it. So Kuka says the United States postal problem is Mr. LaJoy. He had a sorter taken down and destroyed. All our mail goes to Baltimore, then back to our town. I haven't packaged since February 1st. It hasn't come. And that's true that he took them out of everywhere. So that's affected the whole chain where they don't have sorters back there anymore. So, yeah, you're correct. And I'm sure it's a great business move for UPS since, he's got a lot of stock in that company. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm through the messages, so I may have skipped some. Let me just go back and make sure. I think I read them all. If you all are talking to each other, I try to skip some of those so that I'm not reading everything. But I think I got everything. So now I'm just sitting here idle hands. And Dorsey's saying why. I don't know if she's asking why LaJoy is the problem or why they're taking the sorters, but I feel like if you got an invested interest in a private company, that you shouldn't be handling a government entity. But that's exactly what happened. So, and Dorsey go, why is there a thumb down? It doesn't matter. And she's saying maybe he can be retired. Yeah, he does. He needs to be fired. He should have never been hired. Teresa says, biggest problem I see with United States Postal Service is that they have too many people sitting behind a desk instead of actually working the mail. And I don't know anything about the insides of the operation. All I know is that when I go to the counter, those girls are working. And then when I go to ring the bell to get mail out of my P.O. box, it's like those people are on a hiatus. It's like I don't know what they're doing back there. But I've told them, I said, if I work for the United States Postal Service, I want to be at the mail door because they don't have to work. Betsy says, love that quilt. Will we see it finished on Tuesday? I don't know because I'm using it as a sew. So that's why I haven't been really sewing a lot on it. Off the camera, it's like I'll sew that seam so that it can be a quilt top, and then when I get to the borders, I'll probably come back. After I decide what I'm going to do, I have to go through the fabrics that I have. Like I said, she had all the fabrics in containers. I just put it in this container because this is how I store my stuff. And I don't have enough room with this, and we don't want to break this piece of plastic. So I put all of my extra pieces back in here from sewing. I guess I can check and see if any of those other fabrics are in here. But these are like all the 1/4 yard pieces that the pattern recommended. They're all in here for the border. And this was what the appliques were supposed to be made on. I don't even know how many is in here. I didn't count it. I just said, ooh, I like K facets, and I go, I'll do that project. But it doesn't look like there, unless it's in the bag here, but that's a small, oh, it's at the bottom. Even got the purple Aboriginal dot in here. And the brown I knew was in here because it was the border. And then I don't have a whole lot of the fabrics that I used. It's not even, this is about 6 inches at most. This one is about 7 inches, 8 inches. So I don't have a whole lot of the ones that are actually in the quilt. This is the one that I said when it's pieced, because it's cut into 1.5 inch squares. That's 1 inch finished. And then this fabric, they look the same. Let me show you the other side where it's meeting up like that. They look the same in the quilt, so it's really not. These are the 4 prints plus the brown. So that's all that was into the piecing. And then this is the binding fabric. So she's got little notes on them and everything. So it's pretty cool. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do about it. Do I want to make it more colorful or just leave it alone? All right. These are from when I was doing all of the strip piecing. I just put the extra pieces in here in case I lost a piece. I could come back and remake it. So I didn't have to do that. Thank goodness I found my 9 patches. So that container will be coming out soon. There are 17 layers of management between the carriers and the postmaster. The general postmaster. Beautiful quilt. Thanks, Patricia. Lloyd Joe told Congress he refused to put those sorters back together. That's the problem in a nutshell. Angela says, hi, T&T Quilters, hugs and smiles. Hi, Angela. June says, they take all of our mail to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It used to go to Sioux City, Iowa, and he changed it. It makes no sense to send it that far. My girlfriend thought I moved back. Yep. Kelly says, T, love the fabric you chose for the binding. I didn't choose any of this. This is hers, but it is a pretty fabric, isn't it? That's how I keep my projects together. And I probably, knowing me, that fabric is so pretty. I've never seen that print. I don't have it because I haven't bought like any. Last time I bought some stuff, it was like fat quarter bundles and stuff. But I know you don't get to pick your fabrics in there. So I haven't bought any yardage of K-Facet because I got containers on top of containers on top of containers. So I'm trying not to buy stuff until I at least use some of it up. So, yeah, I probably will keep that. It's not going on that border. That is way too pretty. It's got to be a focus somewhere. And that's what Diane was saying. She keeps her projects. That's how she keeps hers together. And then some of the containers, like with this one, it had all the extra fabrics and stuff for the appliques. But I have like some of them that's got like 2 or 3 projects in them. And then I just label them with my label maker what's in them so that I know what's where. And I don't know where that container is unless it's sitting over there. Quilted fox exploding. I don't know. I got 3 containers over there, but I only got 1 spot. So hopefully I'll be moving this one out, and whatever one I start working on next will go in that spot, and then I'll put the other one somewhere else. So yeah, I try to keep the one I'm working on the closest to me so I can easily put it up and not have it in my workspace while I'm working on the project. So that's been working very well. Quilt guess us left them out in the weather and destroyed them. Yep, because that's exactly what they did. I'm like, who puts equipment outside? It made absolutely no sense. Why did they take the sorters out? Debbie says, Cookie friend Terry Z. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, is she's talking about the cookie person. Yep. To stop people voting by mail. And then it served in helping private companies. That's from Nora, just said sad. So Janice says good night. Good night, Janice. See you all. It's 11 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and end here so we don't get too deep into politics. So thank you all so much for coming tonight. I really appreciate your time. Also helping me to further along this project. I feel so much better now that I don't have like little pieces hanging around. So tomorrow I got to do some finishing touches on the quilt that I'm doing for a friend. I want to drop it off on Monday. I need to also do photos, not a photo, the video segment for it whenever I decide to do a finished project segment. So, and then next, I guess for my long arming, I'll be quilting those 3 t-shirt quilts. So what I want to do, I've washed the backings, and what I want to do is I want to put all 3 backings together. So I'm going to load the backing just once, and then I'll be adding the quilt tops that go with the particular battings as I'm working. So that way I don't have to unload my machine. I can just keep going. So that's kind of my goal. People are saying good night to each other. So thank you all so much. I'm going to go ahead and end here, and I'll update you all on Tuesday if I get started. Because Tuesday is soon now from Saturday. But if I get started on the t-shirt stuff, I'll let you know, because I got to probably square all of those. I got to press those 108-inch wide backs, and then I've got to square them up so I can sew them all together. So it's going to be a little process on that too. So I may not even get to quilting, but tomorrow I'll be fine-tuning any stitches I need to fix. I got some threads I want to pull and bury inside the quilt that, you know, when the thread breaks in the middle of a quilt, I don't like to just chop it because I don't want it to fray out. So I have to bury that type of stuff. But this quilt was huge, and thread ran out quite a few times. So, but I will see you all next time. Thanks so much. You all stay safe, be blessed, and quilt out.